Hi, friends. Welcome to our real estate show. I wanted to take a little bit today to dive into the market with you all. And then we're going to go out on the town where Kendall and I get our first night out alone together in really a long time. And then I'll take you over to our 1940s renovation project where I'm removing asbestos siding, or at least I'm hiring somebody to remove asbestos siding for me. I'm having a little bit of trouble just lighting this basement studio with the two of us for our podcast, and I feel like the problem is that I don't have enough lights, but I don't really want to buy more lights right now because asbestos siding removal is very expensive. So I saw an interesting story about mobile home parks in Kenmore. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's all of these little, probably maybe like 5 or 6 of them, mobile home parks kind of scattered throughout downtown Kenmore. They're tucked away. You don't notice them. But in 2019, there was this ordinance that was passed by the city that preserved them because I think the owners of these properties were thinking about redeveloping them, tearing them down and building higher density housing, more expensive housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, this is tough. Like, on the one hand, our community needs a variety of housing options, and mobile homes are an important piece of that. And I think it's great that those folks' homes are preserved.
Yeah, these are specifically low income and senior housing.
If they're displaced, it's going to be really hard for them to find something else in the region.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like, you're the landowner or the mobile home park owner, and you purchase this zoned a certain way, thinking in the future you can redevelop it because Kenmore is a booming area.
Yeah, it really is.
And now you can't.
Yeah, and this is coming up now because this has been a legal battle since 2019, and it was just finalized that these mobile home parks are being preserved.
Wow.
So whoever owns these cannot tear them down. It has to maintain as a mobile home park.
Man, I mean, I don't know. That's just hard.
On one hand, I think that it is the city's job to enact healthy and sustainable zoning laws that protect our communities.
And things aren't going to stay the way they are forever. Like, I wouldn't expect a zoning to never change.
Yeah, zoning's changing continually in Seattle and Shoreline where we live.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does impact the developers and the property owners. I did see that to compensate these property owners, they were allowed to transfer what's called like density credits. So they can build higher density housing elsewhere where maybe it isn't completely allowed.
Oh, that's really interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, so they are getting...
it's not like they were just like completely screwed. But.
They are getting some sort of compensation for the lost value. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it does probably decrease the value of that land.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. If you're in the real estate investing space and listen to Bigger Pockets at all, you've probably heard that Brandon Turner, the former star of Bigger Pockets, invests in mobile home parks, and then everyone else wants to too because Brandon Turner does it. But so hopefully these folks probably don't have a bad investment, even with it staying as a mobile home park, because they're pretty low maintenance. Like, you own the land, the individuals own the structures, the homes, and so that's it's on them to take care of that structure. So there's just very little to do except sit back and collect rent. Mm-hmm. But I don't blame those property owners for fighting that back in 2019 and ever since, because that's a pretty big hit.
Yeah, it is.
But on the other hand, I am glad that level of housing was preserved. So interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of varied housing options, there's been Airbnbs have been on our mind a lot lately. because it's been in the news a little bit, and just our Airbnb needs some attention. It needs some maintenance, and we're trying to find time to drive up there and do a couple little projects. But I saw this article in Utah. Everyone likes to think that Airbnbs are like ruining the cost of housing and making everything more expensive. But they're saying that that's not really the case, just because Airbnbs only represent, in Utah, they were looking at the numbers, like less than 2% of available housing, and over a third of those are in like luxury tourist areas.
Park City or something. Yeah. I mean, it's such a small fraction of housing. People do get up in arms about this, but I don't know. It's such a small percentage of the housing inventory.
We just went to New York a couple months ago, where a year ago they banned Airbnbs completely. Actually, no, they didn't ban them. They put a 30-day minimum on them, which in Seattle, there's a couple areas that have done that too. A lot of condos do that as a way to minimize short-term rentals. But then Lake Union instituted that as well on all the houseboats.
Oh.
Which kind of decimated the Airbnb market there. There used to be a lot of Airbnbs on houseboats, but not anymore. There's like 2.
It's interesting. I wonder if we've talked a little bit about the home exchange platform, which is a house swapping platform. That's how we stayed in Manhattan. I wonder if that will become more popular as Airbnb restrictions tighten.
Yeah, I wonder. Because Airbnb started as like kind of a...
it was an affordable option.
Yeah, and like a fun way to travel that was cheap, that you got to see kind of interesting places.
It was sort of the idea is that maybe you would be kind of seeing someone's home or like the way someone might live in a specific region.
Yeah. And it's grown since then.
But yeah,
to be
now
more
people
like
are
a hotel. But
people are buying properties specifically to make them Airbnbs. But yeah, it's interesting. I have a hard time seeing how home exchange really like gains enough traction to upset the Airbnb market. But
no, I don't think so.
We will leave
our
our link. We were really big fans of home exchange on the platform. It's super like individual driven. I don't want to say there's not much oversight, but it's really on the users to kind of interact with each other and figure out a plan for how you can either swap homes or you can use points to stay in someone else's home. So a lot of times it's for your primary home, but you can also do that with secondary homes. And I have a link below where, if you sign up and you want to try this, you can get some extra like sign-on points because we've used it a few times. We've hosted and we have traveled, and it's been really fun.
I think it's super fun. Just going back to New York, I thought that so after a year's data and experience of trying to effectively ban Airbnbs, rent has gone up by $100, and hotel prices have gone up by 2%.
Hotel prices are... I mean, we could stay in a hotel in New York City.
This was like the reason we wanted to do home exchange, because accommodations are obscenely expensive.
Yep.
How's our Airbnb going?
Our Airbnb is going okay. It's out on Whidbey Island on the north end of the island. And I think we have probably about as many bookings, maybe even more than we did this time last year. But I will say that I've had to drop the prices quite a bit in order to make that happen. I do think the Airbnb market is more saturated there, everywhere. The Airbnb market is there's more competition everywhere. I mean, even
which drives prices down.
On our street, I think our next door neighbor has turned their home into an Airbnb. So I use software to automatically alter prices, but then I've had to be a lot more hands-on about it, and I've even gone in and manually lowered them even more, just because for us some bookings are better than no bookings.
Yes.
And we've even looked at like midterm rental. We had a potential opportunity to rent it long-term over the winter months, which we tried to jump on, and it didn't end up working out. But that's definitely something I'd probably do to get through the winter slow months. It would be sad not to be able to go there ourselves, but...
Which we need to go there, do a couple projects. Garbage disposal needs to be redone.
We got a thermostat that needs to be replaced.
All these just little things.
Yeah. So I don't know. We sound kind of down on Airbnb compared to some of our videos. We're still not down on it, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend people do it in the market that we're in, at least.
Like go out and specifically buy a
right
property
now.
to be an Airbnb.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
No. So the market is going pretty slowly right now. Like we're kind of in the middle of the seasonal downturn. New data was just released a week ago from the MLS, and there's kind of a strange little surge in sales volume last month. Like I think it's just kind of repercussions of rate cuts and some positive consumer sentiment. People going out and like, oh, okay, now's the time, buy a house. And it did cause the median house price to go up a little bit last month, which it's been fairly level for like 6 to 8 months. And there was like I think it was a $25,000 increase. Very interesting for this time of year.
Yeah, but there's more months of inventory currently on the market than we've seen since. Did we look and see it was 2019?
Yeah.
So there is more. There's more options out there for buyers right now. And heading into the slow season, buyers will probably continue to sit it out and just do the holidays and hide from the rain and that sort of thing. I was just having dinner with a friend recently, and they're kind of like right on the border of wanting to, they were just starting to think about buying. And I said, I get yourself ready so that if there is a good opportunity for you over the holidays, since you'll be in town anyways, you don't have plans to travel, just keep an eye out, because that is the time when you're more likely to get a deal.
Yeah.
There's just fewer people shopping over the holidays.
Yeah. I've been getting some good deals for clients lately. Either just like no competition, so we get some chance to negotiate, or get some rate buy downs. It's a good season right now.
And there's also these we see a few times a year. I don't like to slam other agents, but sometimes the way you get a good deal is because the agent on the other side just isn't as experienced, or for whatever reason is not maybe doing the best job on the property. And we've seen a couple of those recently. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, if they'd done a few things differently, we probably wouldn't have been able to get into this home at that price point. So, that happens too sometimes. It's what keeps it interesting.
What have we been working on? We have a new website.
Oh, yeah. Is that interesting to talk about?
I don't know. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time. We did like a photo shoot. We've been working with this marketing company to build it and do all the copy for everything.
I won't need to dwell on it, but I will say, like, if you're new here, it was really cool to work with a professional writer, communications person who put into words the things that we blabbed at her. So if you're trying to get an idea of what our company is about, I feel like the website really reflects that now. So it's worth checking out.
And if you have a small business, I definitely recommend hiring some help on marketing language.
It's such a catch-22 because you can't afford to do it until you've had some success and made a little bit of money. But by then it's like, oh, do I really need to do it? It seems like I'm still getting business even without putting the money into it.
Yeah.
Or you don't have the time because you're dealing with the business. You don't have the time to sit down and do the marketing redevelopment stuff.
Yeah.
But we did it.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with it. So a couple closings, a couple little things. We had an interesting weekend, which I thought was kind of fun.
We had we did. I went to a symphony concert last week. Now, it's not like Manhattan or London. I did have to drive my car to the parking garage, to the light rail. It took me about 1.5 minutes. There was a spot right when I drove in, got on the light rail, and I got off above Benroya Hall at the symphony. And that was really cool, I have to admit.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, pretty fun.
It was like a mashup of different communities, cultural
hodgepodge. Yeah, it was like we were with very different groups of people. I went to the symphony, that was a certain type of crowd. I ended up driving a friend to another friend's gathering, and it was a group of Muslim women getting together. And they invited me in, and I didn't understand anything anyone was saying. They fed me. And then, I ran an 8K.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Pacific Northwest outdoorsy crowd.
Yeah.
A trail run up a mountain on Saturday morning. So that was a very Pacific Northwest healthy vibe. That same night we had the 35th anniversary gala for Music Center of the Northwest, which some of you know, it's a local music school that we support a lot. That was a lot of fun. But then afterwards,
my brother had an album release party. He's a musician. Spiral XP. I'll link the Spotify in the description. You should check it out.
They were good.
But we went to Capitol Hill right after the gala.
Completely different vibe.
And listened to some indie rock.
Yeah.
It
was like
fun.
a whiplash type of weekend.
Which I think is that's the benefit of living in a big city. Like there's so many different people and different things going on. And it's fun to take advantage of that.
I was very tired at the end though.
It was like weekend.
A few too many activities for one weekend, but that's just how it worked out. Yeah, so in the next couple weeks, we have a couple buyers closing. And I maybe mentioned this before, but both East Side.
Yeah.
Just been a little bit of a shift in our business. Some of it I think maybe has to do with return to work policies from Amazon.
Yeah.
A lot of our business really is a reflection of the moves that the big tech giants make.
Yeah, it really is.
So many people are employed by that. And a third client looking for investment property over on the East Side. Not in tech, I don't think, but I think some of it's just a little bit random. But some of it is, like I said, a reflection of the tech giant decisions. So it'll be interesting to see, how our own business is shifting a little bit in the next few months and years here.
Mm-hmm. Let's get this on.
Are we doing more over here?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a stupid coat though.
If you have a little extra in your budget, I encourage you to find a local cause that you feel passionately about and just give it away. I know from the behind the scenes at Music Center that these local nonprofit organizations really only exist because of people being generous and believing in the cause. Kendal and I really think that music is important in people's lives, and we gave some money away this year to back that up. And we got a fun party out of it too. Oh yeah, we also convinced a few clients with small businesses themselves to gift a few things to this auction, like Chocolate Spiel's tasting class, which went for like $1,600, which was super cool.
Where are we parked? That way?
Yeah. And now for something completely different, we're going from a music school fundraising gala to my brother's album or release party.
I don't want to
miss it. Very different vibe.
I hope we don't miss it.
We had to change our clothes because Kendall was wearing a big dress and I had a sport coat.
Normal dress. Normal size.
I am very much in the thick of it in the house renovation these days. I actually haven't spent very much time over here this week at all because I've just been super busy with helping with real estate sales. So I've been hiring a lot of help, a couple friends who are in between jobs, and then a couple professional tradespeople. We have an asbestos company right now, and the house is very scary looking because it's all being stripped, and I'm a little nervous about leaving it without any siding. So it is going to be a couple days before I can get any house wrap on and protect it. So here's hoping that goes all right. I did get locked inside the house for a little while as the asbestos people were working, just for safety.
It's good that the thing is shiplap. Let's see what it is up to.
This is looking more and more like a horror house here. I found a ton of rot after taking off all of the siding and basically opened up this entire wall here. It was not good filming today because it was a lot of hard work, but you can see the door is gone and that whole front of the house is opened up. I found another bit of rot over here around a window right here. I don't know if you can really see it, but all that wood is rotten, and I'm gonna have to go on a ladder and tear all of that down. I'll show you around a little bit inside. It's a bit of a disaster. There's no electricity and there's no windows. It's very dark. It's kind of hard to do work in here, but making it work. You can see this is that front door area. The door is gone and the stairs are exposed. I've done a lot of work. It's only been like a week since the last video, but I framed the entire upstairs. That's pretty nice. This is the bathroom. It's gonna be a vanity right here. A shower is going right here. And then there's a little closet for the toilet. And then we'll build a wall like halfway over here, and the other side will be a closet for the bedroom, which is right here. This is a small bedroom for sure, but I don't know, it works. Having a listing in the fall is kind of a lot of work. There's a lot to just make sure is going all right at the house. I'm just here doing a little bit of yard maintenance because I have a showing. I'm showing this house at 10 today, and then I'm meeting another client to look at like 5 houses at noon, and then another client to look at 3 more houses at 4. So, it's a full day. Anyways, if you're thinking about making a home in Seattle, send me a message. Let's work together. Bye.